Hi and welcome back to another episode of Bake with the Pixie with Family Friendly HQ. My name is Jen and I am the Pixie behind the Pixie Box Bakery, and I'm delighted to be invited back again, this time around with some Easter treats for you to enjoy with your family, and we're going to be making some Easter oatmeal cookies today. They're lovely and easy and keep fresh in an airtight container for the whole of Easter if they last that long. So I'm going to give you a quick run through of all the ingredients and the equipment and we'll get stuck right in. So for this recipe, you are going to need 115 grams of chocolate chips. I have dark chocolate chips here, but feel free to substitute whichever ones you prefer. The same quantity of self-raising flour, porridge oats, and some soft light brown sugar. Do your best to use the soft brown sugar because it gives a really lovely caramel flavour to your cookies. Then I've got 140 grams of melted butter in here, along with 25 grams of desiccated coconut, about 100 grams of little chocolate eggs, they're just for decoration at the end. I've got some bicarbonate soda, some vanilla essence, and finally some golden syrup. And then for the equipment that we're going to use, I have one large bowl. I have a little fish slice for later on when we're trying to lift the cookies off the tray, a spatula, but you can use a big spoon, it's just to mix everything together, a teaspoon and a tablespoon. And then to cook everything onto, we have two lined baking trays here. I've just lined it with a little bit of baking paper, so I've got two of those. And then I have a wire rack to cool the cookies later on. So that in mind, I'm going to get stuck into making them now. So first things first, preheat your oven to 180 Celsius or 160 Celsius if you have a fan assisted oven, gas mark 4 or 350 Fahrenheit. And then we're going to start making the cookies. These are great for small hands. All you need to do is mix all the ingredients together and then shake them by hand. So it's great to get the little ones involved. If you're a parent, roll up the sleeves, take off the rings. It's going to be a little bit messy. So first things first, we're going to pour in our porridge, followed by our self-raising flour, our chocolate drops, and our soft brown sugar. And then you're also going to throw in half a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda. So that's just going to go in here, bring it in a little bit closer. And we're going to give that all a big mix with our spatula or the big spoon that you have, and give them all a good toss around so that they're well mixed. Oh, forgot, and the desiccated coconut. You can pour that in too. So there you go, that's all ready now for our wet ingredients. So we're going to start off with 1 tablespoon of golden syrup. So I'm going to pop the tablespoon down there. I don't have a little helper with me to give me a hand. We'll give that a pour in there. So there you go, there's the 1 tablespoon there. Slide that off into the bowl. And then half a tablespoon of vanilla essence. There we go. Pop that in there. Now we've got some butter here, and it's still a bit warm. So if that ends up melting some of the chocolate chips, don't worry, it'll all add to the flavour anyway, that's all right. Just make sure it's not too hot that it won't burn little hands. And now we are just going to give that a lovely big mix together. So this is a great recipe as well. If you don't want to use chocolate chips, you can substitute it with some dried fruit instead. So any raisins or dried apricots, as long as they're kind of the same size as chocolate drops, they'll be absolutely perfect in this recipe. So quick stir around, and now you can see it kind of looks like granola really. There you go. So now I'm going to get my hands involved now and bring these trays over. So what you're going to do is you're going to make golf ball sized balls with your hands and just scoop it up, give it a squeeze. Now if you find that the mixture doesn't really stick together, you might just need to add in a little bit extra melted butter. So there you go, that's the first one there. And we pop it down on the tray and keep going with all the rest of them. Okay, so just coming up on the last one now. So as you can see, I've got 9 on that side. I probably have about 15 or so cookies, but feel free, if you want them smaller, you'll just have to cook them for a shorter amount of time, or if you want them larger, they'll just need to be cooked for a little bit longer. So if you want them a different size, go on ahead. Now, so there we go. There are all our cookies shaped. Now, so the next thing is I've spread them out. They will stretch as you bake them. And I want you to take the base of your hand and just give them all a little squash. I'll lift it up here so you can see. So you just give them a little bit of a squash so that they're a bit flatter. There you go, that's those ones done. And then onto this tray. And we're going to bake these for 12 minutes in our oven until they go golden brown on top. And then you take them out and then we can decorate them with our little eggs. So the cookies are now out of the oven. These ones took about 15 minutes instead of the 12. You want to make sure that they are lovely and golden brown. So I'll show this to you now, bring these up closer to you so you can have a look. So you can see they're beautiful and golden brown. They rise up a little bit, but they'll start to sink again once they cool down. But while they are still hot, that's when we want to decorate them with our little chocolate eggs. So I've got the chocolate eggs here, and all I'm going to do is pick them up and shove them into the cookies. There's nothing fancy about it. So if your little people are getting involved in this, just make sure that they are careful while they're doing it, because obviously it's going to be really hot. If you wait until they're cool, they just won't stick in properly. And with all cookies, the same, you can't lift these up yet onto a serving dish until they're a little bit cooler. If you lifted them now, they just fall apart because they're still kind of squidgy on the inside, which is perfect for decorating them. And obviously, if you fancy making these oatmeal cookies out of Easter season, they are the perfect recipe to do. You just have to leave out the lovely little eggs. So I'm popping 3 into each one. So they're like little nests. There we go. So they're all of them decorated. So I ran out of a few, so some people are just going to have one. And once these are all cooled a little bit more, I'd say about 5 minutes, I'll show you how to lift them off onto a serving tray. So it's just a few minutes later, and now these have cooled enough that I can transfer them over onto a plate and they won't fall apart. So you just need a fish slice for this, and you just pop it underneath each cookie and transfer them over to a plate. They can be enjoyed warm from the oven, or else you can wait until they cool completely, and you can keep them in an airtight container if they last that long. So here you go. Here they are. These are my Easter oatmeal cookies, and I hope you love making them, and I hope you really enjoyed them. Have a fantastic Easter, and thank you very much to Family Friendly HQ for having me back again. My name is Jen, and I'm the Pixie behind the Pixie Box Bakery. Have a great time baking, guys.